So what is going on, guys? I'm BlackOpsAmazing. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be explaining the ending of the Outbreak Easter egg for you guys, and not only that, I'm pretty much going to go through all of the storyline of Outbreak, because it really isn't that long and confusing until you get to the ending, where there is a very big twist. If you haven't already and are interested or just want to get up to date, I've already done full explanation videos of the Firebase C storyline and the D Machine one, so check them out if you haven't already. But let's get straight into this one, and a reminder, if you do enjoy the video, a like rating is always appreciated, as well as subscribing. So the Outbreak Easter egg takes place a few days after Firebase C. We don't know the exact date, but it's sometime after June 20th, 1984, where, just like our previous maps, D Machine and Firebase C, the strike team have been sent to the Ural Mountains to stop Omega's experiments. When they arrive here, they complete various different objectives for the members of Requiem. They destroy large Ethereum crystals for Dr. Carver. They send Ethereum to Dr. Strauss via rockets, since the Ural Mountains contains the most amount of Ethereum out of any other place discovered. Using the Dark Ether Beacon, they teleport to different regions: Alpine, Rucker, Golova, Sanatorium, Duga, where they continue to fight off the creatures of the Dark Ether and complete tasks for Requiem. However, eventually, the strike team stumble upon a radio, where after fiddling about with it, they can begin communicating with Samantha Maxis. We know at this point Maxis is locked in Requiem HQ. She is being restrained there, I guess you could say, because Requiem don't trust her. They believe she was the cause of the outbreak at Outpost 25. There is definitely something wrong with Samantha, something to her that we don't know, and for that reason, Requiem are keeping her under watch. And so because she can't be in the field, she contacts the strike team via radio, telling them that they need to find Revanov. At the end of the Firebase C Easter egg, we heard Revanov tell us that he's staying in the field, that he needed to go to the Ural Mountains to make sure he kept an eye on what Omega were doing. He was the mole in Firebase C. He used to work for Omega, but betrayed them, became friends with Samantha, and together they began taking Omega down. And so after the events there, he travelled to the Ural Mountains, but not long after, contact with him was lost. So Samantha secretly gets in touch with the strike team and tells them to find Revanov. And that's exactly what they do. They find a dead drop, a bunch of microfilm slides hidden by Revanov in the regions. They then insert it inside of a projector, where it tells them about Operation Inversion, a project where Omega were developing a reality inversion warhead, something that would allow them to open up a Dark Ether breach and create an outbreak zone wherever they wanted, or by firing a missile. It also meant, because of the electromagnetic interference generated by the tempest that they stuck on the missiles, no one could ever see them coming. They weren't able to be picked up by radar. They wouldn't know what had hit them before it was too late. From this, Samantha figures out that Revanov must be in the missile silos in Rucker, so using the Dark Ether Beacon, the strike team teleport there. They take the elevator underground to the missile silos, where they come across Revanov. When we meet him, we see him fighting Omega agents, but unfortunately, he still isn't able to launch the missiles, not wanting to leave them in Rucker in Omega's hands, wanting to ditch them somewhere, destroy one of Omega's outposts, or just put them in the sea. Of course, he would need to launch the missiles, but in order to do that, he needed keys, so he sends the strike team collecting different keys around the bunkers so they can be launched, and just as they're about to do that, the hatches for the silos become obstructed. The strike team then head above ground to see what the problem is, and when they get there, they see a massive, giant tempest has blocked the hatches with crystals. As I'm sure you guessed, the strike team then take down the tempest, they defeat him, the crystals are destroyed, and the missiles are launched. And that's when the strike team exfil. Samantha sends them a chopper, and they escape the Ural Mountains unharmed, with their mission complete. Well, Samantha's mission at least. They kind of went behind Weaver's back. But the big question is, well, where did the missile end up? We were told in the cutscene, Samantha specifically said to Revanov that she wants them dumped in the middle of the Pacific.
It is no use. I cannot launch the missiles from here. I need you to find the keys. That is the only way we can put an end to Operatia Inversia. Maxis, is there anywhere in particular you want to see destroyed?
This power is too dangerous for either Omega or Requiem to possess. So I say, we dump them in the middle of the Pacific.
Sounds like a plan.
We can see the location where they sent these missiles to on the map, so we can only assume that's where they ended up in 1984, and this is the interesting part. This could all link into the Vodionoi. That was the ship that we saw in Warzone, which I believe was Season 2, the same time that Outbreak released. We saw that ship randomly appear in Verdansk, but how could this link to the missiles in Outbreak? Well, we first need to quickly recap ourselves on the story of that ship. You can read this extract for yourself on the COD Wiki. In 1984, the Vodionoi left Rebirth Island, transporting Novosit's gas following the reactivation of the facility by Perseus operative Stitch. However, the ship disappeared before reappearing 37 years later near the coast of Verdansk, surrounded by a thunderstorm. The The captain of the Vodunoi, Rosenthal, tried to warn people that an outbreak occurred inside the ship and the crew was unable to contain it, and that was at the point where the ship crashed into the coast. The crash broke the Vodunoi in two. With the ship open, the Novosibirsk gas and the zombies started to be released into Verdansk. But there was something really weird. In 1984, the ship was transporting Novosibirsk gas to Verdansk, but ended up disappearing for 37 years, only to reappear again out of nowhere near to the coast of Verdansk, where on the radio you could hear the captain warning people that there was an outbreak on the ship, and that's when it crashed into the coast.
Mayday! Soviet freighter Voter Royal encountered atmospheric disturbance. What the hell is that? Pull ahead! Outright runner!
There is absolutely no way this ship could have gone missing for 37 years. There are a couple of reasons why that wouldn't be possible. One, to just randomly go missing and then reappear 37 years later. It's not some tiny object, it's a massive boat. Someone would have seen it. It shows up again in present day intact. And also, the crew are still alive. The captain is still on the ship when it reaches Verdansk all those years later. Again, there is no way he would have survived 37 years stranded on a ship. They would have run out of food, fuel for the boat, it would have been freezing. They 100% would have died due to various different things, yet the captain shows up 37 years later, still on that same ship, alive. So the only possibility is teleportation. And what do we link teleportation to? That's the zombie storyline. The ship, Vodunoi, launched from Rebirth Island in 1984. The Outbreak Easter egg also takes place in 1984, although we don't know the exact dates. They are within the same year. For all we know, they could be within the same month, the same day. But it's very possible the Outbreak missiles hit the ship. That's the reason for it teleporting forward in time 37 years later. And that would also explain the outbreak on the ship as well, because other than that, it doesn't make sense. It was Novosibirsk gas that was on the ship. Novosibirsk gas doesn't make zombies. It is either 115 in our old timeline, or in this new timeline, it's Ethereum. There was nothing on that ship that could have created the undead other than this missile hitting. I said earlier on in the video, the whole point of these missiles being created by Omega was it was a way for them to open up outbreak zones and unleash the undead. If this rocket hit the ship, it would have opened up an outbreak zone on the boat, causing the zombies to escape from the dark ether and kill everyone on board. The only thing that doesn't quite line up is the locations, because we are shown on the map where the rockets hit in the Pacific Ocean, yet the locations of either Rebirth Island or Verdansk, they don't quite add up. Then again, the geography of these maps doesn't make sense either. The actual real life location that Rebirth Island is based on, it isn't near the coast, and also the location of Verdansk, it's landlocked. There is no coast. Yet if you look at the Warzone map, it's clearly surrounded by sea. Then again, Verdansk is based off Kastova, which is a fictional country that is made up in Call of Duty. It isn't a real place. So the actual geography of these maps doesn't actually make any sense. A lot of people have pointed that out before, but it does make perfect sense that it was this missile from Outbreak that caused the Vodunoi to teleport forward in time from 1984 to 2019, present day. The missiles left Ruka, they hit the Vodunoi, which not only sent it forward in time, but also caused the undead outbreak. So there we go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, you know what to do. Drop a like rating, make sure you are subscribed, and I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, goodbye.